Hey there, Blaze here, and today I want to explain an idea that I had and its importance to understanding how politics can impact our day-to-day life. The first thing I want to explore is what a metagame is. So let's talk about tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe, or noughts and crosses, is a very simple game. Uh, every game has a maximum of 9 turns, and the way I was taught is that crosses go first. If you've ever played this game and tried to figure out how to win, you will have learnt that crosses have the advantage, since they get to go first. If the first player puts a cross in the corner, the second player must put a circle in the center, otherwise the first player can win pretty easily. Tic-tac-toe is a solved game. If both players play optimally, games end in a draw. Now, if I may, I'd like to talk about a change in the video game StarCraft. StarCraft has three distinct races. If you know the movies Alien and Predator, then you can imagine the Zerg and the Protoss respectively. Zerg there and Protoss there, and Terran are the humans. Now, Zerg has a cheap starting unit called the Zergling, and the way units get built, Zerg can pop out 6 Zerglings very quickly. When StarCraft first came out, this was too quick. You could argue that StarCraft was at risk of becoming a solved game, in that any game where you had Zerg and any other race, whoever was Zerg and rushed Zergling as fast as possible would win. But StarCraft had a few dozen units with health, damage, range, armor, damage types, minerals and gas costs, lots of things to adjust and tweak. In 2001, patch 108B was released and it made a fairly big change. The Zerg spawning pool cost was increased from 150 to 200 minerals. This gave Protoss and Terran a chance to not die from Zergling rushes. This was a good change. To this day, the game is played competitively and is widely celebrated as being an extremely well-balanced game. Why am I talking about this? Well, I like game design. I went to uni for it. But the idea that you can release a patch and make a game better has an almost one-to-one relationship with how government legislation works. I also think that many people who play a lot of video games don't think much about politics, in any useful way at least. If you've got a PC with games on it, probably you're in that middle class life where welfare programs don't help you, but your parents probably never got into corporate welfare like tax breaks on self managed super funds. For you, and many like you, the government hasn't done anything that has directly impacted your life in an obvious way. What you might not realize is that the government has impacted your life in dozens, hundreds of small ways that all add up. I mean, a big way in Australia, we have mostly free healthcare, and that is a Labor achievement. NBN wasn't even thought of by the coalition, but Labor pushed it. So the coalition delivered a shitty one that they later admitted should have just been the Labor one. Tens of billions of dollars wasted so everyone would stay on Foxtel for a few more years. We're all playing the game of life. There are ways to live that are easier or harder, balanced or unbalanced. You may have heard the advice that you should leave your job every few years in order to raise your base salary. This is the wisdom of the day. This is the meta. Likewise, you may have heard it is good to invest in property because it is stable, and we in Australia have good tax incentives to become a property investor. This is the meta. But I don't think anyone except property investors like this meta, where housing is expensive, because people don't want to be homeless and people don't want to spend half their dollars on rent or mortgages if they are lucky enough to get a mortgage, because many times a property investor is outbidding them on the house. Keep in mind, investors are here to make money. They aren't buying houses to live in them. They don't care about your quality of life. They want a return on their investment. Even if they are a property developer, they are doing it to make a profit. And that profit, whether it be the sale of the built house or through rent and increase in cost, is always paid by someone. Given that negative gearing and the capital gains discounts are a thing, even if you own your house outright, if you pay tax at all, the someone paying is you. I would like us to change the meta. Property investors are overpowered in Australia. Nerf, please.